Hi, thanks for watching. I'm going to talk about the India-Australia series in India, a series that begins on the 22nd of February, so about 4 weeks' time, 3.5 weeks' time. Um, this is a 4-test series, one of the dying breed of longer than 3-test series. Consequently, a little bit longer than some of my other videos, as is sort of customary for these 4 and 5-test series. Okay, so I might surprise some people with this pick. I'm going to, as I sometimes do these longer ones, I'm going to start off telling you what my pick is, and then I'm going to tell you the reasons why. My pick is 2-1 India in the 4 tests. I think that might surprise some people. I picked England successfully, as it turns out, to beat India for December. And I was pretty scathing of the Indian team at the time. In addition to that, Australia's been pretty successful. In the last 18 months or so, I've seen them draw in South Africa, lose a tough, tight series where they might have been arguably the better team over the balance of the series. In Australia, beat the West Indies in the West Indies, beat Sri Lanka in Sri Lanka, at home. So they've been good. In all honesty, they've been a lot better than their team on paper looks, and we're going to discuss that a little bit. Much of this preview is going to be talking about Australia. I think this is more of a pick against Australia than it is for India. The Indians obviously haven't been playing great cricket. They've been beaten by England in India. They did beat New Zealand, but not super convincingly considering the calibre of New Zealand, which we saw against South Africa. And then they lost 8 straight tests on the road to England and Australia. So, the team that was beaten 4-0 in Australia just, 15 months ago or 12 months ago, I do think will win the series. Let's talk about why. As I said, my primary issue is with Australia. And I guess it boils down to this comment. They still employ Nathan Lyon and they don't employ Mike Hussey anymore. Let me explain what I mean by that. When you play in India and play in Asia generally, you need to have slow bowling. I'm sure I've said this on videos before. It's a batsman's continent. It's a place to bat well, where batting is easy. Typically in any given series, a good example of this is the Sri Lanka-Pakistan series about 6 or 7 months ago. You'll see a game that's just completely dominated by the bat. One team puts up 650, the other team puts up 550, and it's a draw. This is a great place to bat, and consequently, it's not a kind of place where you can realistically go in with hopes of bowling a team out for 120, 150, like you do pretty much every single test that you play in Australia and South Africa and New Zealand and England. And you need someone that can bowl a lot of overs with the old ball economically and well and be a relative threat, because you're not going to get those cheap new ball wickets that you tend to rely on in Australia. Certainly Australia, particularly of non-Asian teams, rely on this, with guys like Bird you saw recently, and Stark and Pattinson in particular, who may or may not be playing in this series, probably not. They need to get those early wickets to give themselves a bit of buffer against the later batting. Nathan Lyon is the guy. Obviously, he's played the last 19 tests in a row for. He's the guy. I think he's missed one of those. He's going to play. There's no question about that. I've, again, in previous videos, been very scathing of Nathan Lyon. I don't think he's a test class player. I think that's been proven by his first class record. He's actually started out quite well figures-wise in test cricket, and that slipped substantially. He's